start. So, Netivot Shalom, Sefer Bereshit, Parashat Vigash. What? Another one, and we're finishing Bereshit, the book. Wow.
Yeah.
וילקט יוסף את כל הכסף, and Yosef was gathering all the money, or all the silver. וילקט יוסף את כל הכסף הנמצא בארץ מצרים ובארץ העם. So, Yosef was gathering all the money in the land of Egypt and in Canaan. צריך בירור, we need to explain מה הייתה כוונת יוסף. Why Yosef was gathering, collecting all the money and all the possession of the Egyptian to his possession. כדכתיב, and it says, עוד להלן, it says furthermore, right? אבו מקניכם, ואכן אין קניתי אתכם היום, ואת אדמתכם בית. So what happened was that when they were starving, they were paying with money, right? Currency. And then they ran out of money. So then they give their commodity, whatever, the flock, the herds, the sheep, the cows, etc. And then eventually the land, and then eventually themselves. Right? They all became Yosef possession. So what's the Torah is teaching us? I mean, if it was a transaction that happened so many years ago, okay, fine, there was a transaction, but why is it so important to us to know? By the way, Kesef in Hebrew is the currency, right? You say money. But Kesef, it's also silver. But truly, Kesef, the root of it, or the meaning of the word, is kisufim, yearning. So money has in Hebrew, in Lashon HaKodesh, few words. And in Lashon HaKodesh, there are no synonym. Each word, even though it's for the same object or same item, have a different meaning. So, for example, kesef is yearning because we're yearning for the money. We work, we want to get money, we want to have the lottery, whatever, we're yearning for it. Zuzim, it's also because it's moving. You're getting your salary, and after a few seconds, it moved to someone else, right? Electricity bill, utility bill, whatever, it goes. Zuz, like mezuzah, it's something that is moving. Damim is blood. We really spill our blood for money, right? When we work, we sweat, we don't eat, etc. And so on. So this is something here significant. We can say, according or based on the story from the Rav HaKadosh, Rabbi Mordechai Chernobyl, that one of his people, one of his in the Kehila, in the congregation, was very wealthy, but for charity, for tzedakah, his hand was closed, and you couldn't get even one dime. So once, the Rav HaKadosh, Mordechai from Chernobyl, he invited that wealthy guy to stay by him. He was hosting him. And the story was that when he came to him, Rabbi Mordechai from Chernobyl put lots of pressure. I don't know exactly what he did. And because he was the Rav, he was scared because he knew that if he will refuse, the Rav will make him to zero, to a bump, right? He can make a ban on him and whatever. So he gave him whatever he asked. And he asked all his money, all his gold, all his possession, the real estate, even the furniture of his house. The Rav forced him, right? What a Rav. Huh? What a greedy Rav. But no. So after that, the Rav returned him everything. And he told him, you should know, all your possession, all your belonging, your real estate, everything was under the control of the Sitra Acha, of the other side. You didn't control it. And therefore, you couldn't give even one dime for charity. So the only cure for you was that I will take everything from you to myself, and then it will be out of the hand of the other side from the evil inclination, the Sitra Acha. And now here your possession, here everything that you owned before, start behaving like a Jew and give charity. Because now the money is in your possession and in your control. So according to that story, we can understand the reason, the rationale behind what Yosef was doing. Yosef was gathering, collecting all the possession of the Egyptian to his Reshut. Why? Because Mitzrayim, Ervat Haaretz, right? It's the place of Tuma. עד שכל המציאות, it's the reality in Egypt, everything, all the thing over there were under the control of the other side, of the evil inclination. Everything. And therefore, Yosef was gathering everything to take it out from their hand of the other side. And that was one part of Hashem's will, the divine will, to send Yosef first as a pioneer to Egypt, right? We learned it on Monday that Yosef told the brother, it wasn't you, it was Hashem. Hashem sent me there. You were the messenger, you did what you did, you wanted to kill me, you wanted to sell me, you sold me, etc. It's Hashem. So that was part of the preparation. But otherwise, how the 70 souls that went down with Yaakov, this parsha, how they can how they can survive over there, and how can they even enjoy from what they're there for the food and everything. And therefore, the divine will was to send Yosef to Egypt in order for him to prepare the ground, in order for Yaakov and his rest of the sons to go there. And therefore, Yosef was gathering all the money and all the possession in the Eretz Mitzrayim. And therefore, he asked for the sheep, for the cows, etc. And he bring it everything from Tuma to the control of the Gedusha, the kingdom of Gedusha. And also, right, because Egypt was the powerful empire. So also from Canaan, from the land of Canaan, where Bnei Israel was actually supposed to go there, right, after the slavery, after Sinai, to go to Eretz Israel. So also he gathered everything from there and bring it to the Gedusha. That was all preparation, preparing Egypt and preparing Canaan. And according to that, what Yosef told to the brother, Ma'aru ve'alu el avi, right, hurry up, go to my father and tell him, this is what your son Yosef said. Samani Elokim ladon lakom. Hashem put me there to be the ruler, the king for all Egypt. Come down to me, don't stand, don't delay. So Lichora, it seems to be like it doesn't make sense, like why he sent Yaakov Avinu these sentences, these words. Samani Elokim ladon lechol Mitzrayim. Like, fine, we can understand, like if somebody is getting a promotion, right, then he bragging about it. I am this, I am that. But for Yaakov, we don't care about it, right, about promotion. So Yosef knew Yaakov will refuse to go down to the land of Egypt because it's a land of Tuma. And the land of Tuma is under the control of the Sitrach of the other side. And therefore Yosef said, no, Hashem put me to be the master of all Egypt. You should know, I'm the master from the side of the Gedusha. I took everything from the other side. It's no longer in their control. So you don't need to be fear from that. Come to me. Another purpose, another tafkid or a job for Yosef to gather all the money, right? Because that was his main job at the time. It's also to take the money and to elevate the sparks of the Gedusha that were in Egypt. So it's a long story, but basically, Adam HaRishon, whatever, it's on the Kabbalistic side, we are all like parts of soul of Adam HaRishon. It's not the one that we know that eat from the forbidden tree. There was like something giant spiritual, and all the souls, all the sparks of the soul gathered, spread from him. Anyway, anything could be souls of people reincarnated in food, in animal, in money, in objects, whatever. So our job also as Jews, when we saying brachot, when we benching, is to fix these things and to elevate the sparks. So Egypt was full of sparks over there. So that was again our job, entire Klal Israel, to gather all the sparks and elevate them. And the beginning of that work was actually by Yosef. So according to that, we can understand why he was gathering all the possession, all the belongings of the Egyptian, according to the Baal Hashem Tov HaKadosh. On the pasuk, Re'evim gam tzmeim, nafsham ba'em titataf. Starving and thirsty, their soul would wrap with them. So he said that's from Tehillim. It's very difficult to understand, but he says when a person is hungry or thirsty, That's because of his soul. The soul, not only because the soul in the food, that spark, the Kedusha of the spark in the food wants to be elevated. And therefore he's like, wrap up on that person, and he's bringing him the feeling of starving. So he will have a desire to eat. And by eating, saying a bracha, he's elevating the spark, right? So basically, I know it's a little bit difficult, but every creature has some kind of awareness. We speak, so we have a very high level of awareness and conscious feelings, way to communicate with others. Animals have less, right? On a very basic level. Dog can communicate with each other. Animals see each other, they can communicate telepathically, by moving, by barking, meowing, whatever. They have some kind of, we know, cows, whatever, we know. Then there is another basic level, even with plants. And in the Gemara, there was a story about, I think, a palm tree and another palm tree. They didn't have fruit, and somebody told him, yeah, you have to get them together because one is male and one is female. Then you will have fruits. So, and the trees wanted to be together. So there's a very basic level of awareness, consciousness, and communication. So now we can learn really that even a food that it looked like it was picked up from the tree, or a piece of meat that we cooked, still have some kind of a way to communicate and a request to elevate the soul that is inside that, the sparks. So that's from the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh. Chazal said furthermore in Masechet Chagiga, Gezel ve'arayot, right? Stealing and immorality things, the soul of a person desire them. Why? Because in these two things, stealing, taking something that you want and you couldn't have, or going with others, right? These two things have lots of sparks of Gedusha. And therefore, the soul of a person, he desires them because he wants to elevate them. But that's like really very difficult to do. So we need to take the Kedusha, but not in a Tuma way, but in a Kedusha way. But now we can understand like why sometimes we have desire for things that we shouldn't have. And that was the avoda of Yosef in Egypt, that all the sparks of the Kedusha, of Arayot, he elevated. How? Not to go with the woman or to do something. That's not the way to do, right? But when he told them to do a Brit Milah, to circumcise themselves, then by default, he lowered the desire of Arayot. So that could fix the sparks that were reincarnate or there in the Arayot. When he was able to stand in front of the wife of Potiphar, although she was beautiful, etc., and he didn't fail, he elevated more sparks to the Kedusha. So whenever we hold up ourselves, we're fixing something. We can fix by benching and eating something, and fixing by not doing something that is negative, right? So he said, then he asked them to do Brit Milah, as Rashi explained, right? And then they complained. They went to Paro, said, the guy is crazy. He wants us to cut ourselves. And he said, yeah, whatever he tell you to do, do. If you want to eat and you want to survive, do whatever he's telling you to do. He's the ruler. So that was conquering the shell of the other side of Arayot. And he elevated the Kedusha, the spark of Kedusha in the Arayot. And that was, again, one of his tasks to do. And therefore, so he was collecting the Arayot from the Tuma of Arayot by having Brit Milah, and also the sparks in the money, right, and everything. And that was actually started to feel the task, the mission of Bnei Israel in the Galut Mitzrayim. And that helped us the time when we were slave over there. And that's why it says nobody was doing Arayot in Egypt. They did either worshiping, etc., like the Egyptian did because of the influence, but nobody was parutz in Arayot. We can say more. When it says that Ve'elaket Yosef et kol hakesef, so kesef melashon kisufim, yearning. And Mitzrayim was a Tuma place, in the core of the Tuma, and also all the yearning over there were negative yearning. So Yosef elevated this negative yearning into a Gedusha, to a positive. And that was, again, the preparation, right? So actually the preparation started with Avram and Sarah, when Paro gave Sarah Eretz Goshen, the land of Goshen, Later on, Yosef came. Then Yaakov sent Judah first to build yeshivot and everything that they need in the land of Goshen. That was given to Sarah. Yosef forced all the Egyptians to have a Brit Milah, gathering all the money. That was all preparing the ground for Bnei Israel to go down to Egypt and to be able to survive the time of the slavery, all the 210 years. And we're going to finish with that. We can say that what Yosef told to the people, to the Egyptian, and kaniti etchem hayom, I acquired you today and your land to Pharaoh. Here, have seeds, and you plant the seeds in the land. It's a question. Why? Because that happened on the second year. And Yosef told them that they have 7 years of starvation. So why 5 years before the end, you telling them to plant the seed? Nothing will grow. So even though Yosef knew that he knew, right, that the starvation, the purpose of the starvation came just for Yaakov Avinu to go down to Egypt because they will starve in Canaan. He will send his son. Yosef will play the game with them of putting them in jail, doing this, doing that, and eventually Yosef will go down. So when Yosef understood, okay, Yaakov is his father and the family are coming down now, right, before the end of the 7 years, for sure it's going to stop. But according to that, it says it's still a question, because he told his brothers 5 years more of starvation, even though that he knew that he will go down. But anyway, he said that's the meaning of the psukim, and the reality why there was starvation is because of the sitra achra, because the other side that they are holding or postponing the abundance of the shefa and everything that goes down, because they're having judgment on all the blessings, and therefore the wheat could not grow. And that was like the reason for the starvation, because it doesn't come from heaven, because the sitra achra, the other side, are stopping it. But after Yosef gathered the money and he bought the people and everything, and he forced them to circumcise, and everything moved to the Kedusha. And therefore, when he said, oh, today I acquired you and the land and everything, now it's in my possession, now it's the Kedusha, the sitra achra cannot postpone or delay the abundance and the shefa and everything. Here, seeds, you're going to plant, everything is going to be fine from now on. And in parallel to that, Yaakov Avinu went down to Egypt. And this is what the Holy Torah is teaching us, that everything in Egypt was under the control of the sitra achra. And in order to put them back on track, Yosef needed to force them to do circumcision, to take the money, take the possession and everything. And that was also part of the big plan, because Yaakov Avinu would never go down to Egypt, even if Yosef will send him a message, if there was no starvation in the world, because they need to eat, bottom line. So now you have a son, he's the ruler of Egypt. He took Egypt from the Tuma, put it in the Kedusha. You're starving in your place. You have opportunity to go down. Of course, he will go down. And he went down. And that's the reason why Yosef. So people might saying Yosef was greedy. No. It's look like, but it's all a spiritual thing. Thank you for listening.